Sickle cell anemia, a projected future of the sickle cell disease. Sickle cell anemia is a deadly disease. With modern treatments, however, life expectancy with SCD continues to grow, allowing for the population and the sickle cell trait to maintain a presence in the population for years to come. Now, what is it exactly? Sickle cell anemia is a dysfunction in hemoglobin in red blood cells. The abnormality lowers red blood cells' ability to provide oxygen, and also deforms the natural shape of red blood cells. The abnormally shaped red blood cells cause blockages in arteries more easily than a properly shaped red blood cell. This makes SCD, sickle cell disease, very deadly if untreated. Infant mortality has always been a great worry, and those who make it to adulthood would typically not make it past 20 years old, untreated. I find this topic very interesting as I am a carrier of the sickle cell trait. Now, carriers of the trait, like me, actually have a boosted resistance to malaria, while those with the sickle cell disease actually have a higher mortality rate when it comes to malaria. Typically, we would expect a deadly trait to slowly remove itself from the population by means of natural selection. If those with SCD don't make it to a sexually mature age, they cannot pass on the trait. Modern medicine, however, has increased life expectancy of those with the disease from 20 years to 50 years since the 1970s. Most children with sickle cell anemia, 93.9%, and nearly all children with milder forms of SCD, 98.4%, now live to become adults. By ages 46 to 50, the impregnation success rate for males was down to 32%, and men over the age of 51 were able to facilitate pregnancy just 30% of the time. So with SCD mortality rates dropping and life expectancy being raised to 50 years, the majority of individuals with SCD have around 30 years of life to procreate and pass on the SCD trait. That's up from 3 years in 1970. Sexual selection could play a role in removing the disease from the population, but this doesn't seem likely to me. It would require sexual discrimination by or against those with SCD, or even just the traits for SCD. My hunch is that with most forms of selection not acting to weed out SCD, the majority of the SCD carriers making it well into sexual maturity, I project a future with a stable, if not growing, population of people who carry the genetics for sickle cell disease. Census data in 2008 put the number of people in the U.S. with active SCD between 70 and 100,000. However, at the time, only California and Georgia citizens were part of this census. The numbers lately have been roughly the same, about 100,000 in the U.S. in the 2020s. More recently being tracked in 9 states total. Today, the CDC is only tracking around 30% of United States citizens when it comes to SCD, according to Brett Grier, an ex-U.S. Assistant Secretary for Health, in Addressing Sickle Cell Disease, a Strategic Plan and Blueprint for Action in 2020. Now, what really matters is the medical professional awareness of this disease, the quality of life with sickle cell disease, and the life expectancy of those with sickle cell disease. In conclusion, sickle cell disease is here to stay, but the quality and amount of life of those with the disease has been steadily increasing over the past 50 years. With more time and careful effort, professional research will continue to improve the lives of those with sickle cell disease.